agree that the Minister's amendment moves the bill a long way towards her position, and in some cases, for example, a 6-month sentence, there is an overlap between the government position and hers. Having said that, given that her earlier amendment on the length of sentences to be covered by the bill were not accepted, it is not possible to accept her amendment.
Senator van Turnhout.
Thank you very much. And obviously, the overall rationale to my amendment is that the original rehabilitative periods put forward in this bill of 5 to 7 years for the relevant custodial sentences and 3 to 5 years for relevant non-custodial sentences, and obviously now the government's amendments now of 4 to 5 years and 2 to 4 years respectively are very welcome, but in my opinion are too conservative, but I do very much welcome them, and I will be supportive. I would just draw your attention again to the explanatory memorandum that accompanied the publication of the bill, because it set out the main purpose of the bill as being, and I quote, to assist the rehabilitation of offenders who often experience difficulties securing employment as a result of having a conviction. And I think in order to achieve this objective, the bill needs to be as generous as it possibly can be. And to be generous, I just want to say, to be generous does not mean we're being soft on crime in any way, as some in government might be concerned a less restrictive and less conservative law might be seen. I think it would show foresight and appreciation of the long-term societal benefits of encouraging the rehabilitation and reintegration of ex-offenders back into society. A less restrictive spent convictions regime, negating as far as possible against the negative, far-reaching and oftentimes discriminatory consequences for ex-offenders and their families, would also reflect the qualities in Irish society of compassion and forgiveness. Minister, I'm very aware of research conducted by the UK Home Office into reconviction rates, which suggests that if an individual has not reoffended in the first 2 years post-conviction, they are equal risk of future offending as someone without a previous conviction. You know, and that really struck me, Minister, the fact that if you don't reoffend for 2 years afterwards, they're as equal to myself as the likelihood to have an offence. And this finding is in keeping with the fact that in the UK legislation, the conviction-free or rehabilitative period at the lowest end of the offending scale is actually 2 years. And obviously, when I put forward my amendment, I was hoping that my original amendments would be accepted, which they weren't. So I'm going to reflect and come back at report stage on it. Thank you.
Minister, do you want to offer anything further?
Well, I think that thank you, Eric. I do believe that the Minister has moved significantly, especially in the waiting period. I mean, if we were to go with what the Law Reform Commission, and they're a group of people that I would have a great deal of time and huge respect for, but I think